Hello, Cookbook friends! My name is Carrie with Cookbook Divas, and I'm here with my co-host Katie to tell you about all of the cookbooks coming out in the third week of April 2021 that we are the most excited about.
Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube at Cookbook Divas. We also have a blog and show all kinds of goodies on there at cookbookdivas.com. So a realization I had while I was researching cookbooks is they have been pushing publication dates further into the future as time has been passing. I think this is because of the pandemic, because authors want to do book tours and their releases close together. So I've been noticing that.
So we're basically torturing you, showing you all these books and going, this awesome book comes out April 20, and then it doesn't, and you're like, I hate you, Cookbook Divas, and I'm like, sorry!
I know, it gives us more time to pre-order, I guess. So,
yes.
I apologize for any prior books that we have mentioned that you were looking forward to getting, and now have to wait. There have been a lot on my list, too, so I'm sorry.
So today we're going to torture you by talking about awesome cookbooks by bloggers. We're going to talk about cookbooks by chefs and some plant-based cookbooks, some culinary history and informational cookbooks, a vegan or two, a couple specialty cookbooks, including one on bacon. And I'm excited about a beautiful platters and boards book, which is coming out because I'm a wine blogger. We're going to do some family meal type cookbooks, and at the end we'll let you know about our upcoming book clubs that are free and online. So let's get started. I wanted to talk about Cook This Book, Techniques That Teach and Recipes to Repeat, a cookbook by Molly Baz, or Boz. I'm sorry, I should have looked up how to say your name, Molly. I've seen it so many places on people's upcoming lists of cookbooks they're excited about, etc. This cookbook is a modern guide to becoming a better, faster, more creative cook with fun and flavorful recipes. It's a really good book for people that kind of lack skills and confidence necessary to make stuff at home. Molly breaks down the essentials of cooking with clear and uncomplicated recipes. So this is great for people that, the pandemic, even though restaurants are still opening up, I'm still cooking at home way more, and I really want to support my local restaurants. But I'm also crazy busy, so it's just easier to just cook at home and not lose all the time in the car going back and forth, as much as I love eating out. So some of the dishes in this cookbook that Molly will teach you to make are pastrami roast chicken with schmaltzy onions and dill. That makes me laugh. Chorizo and chickpea carbonara, and her signature, something I've never heard of, Caesal, Caesal. That doesn't sound like something a basic cook with no skills or confidence would even know what that is. So, I don't know what's going on. Cook This Book, says the publisher, teaches you the invaluable superpower of improvisation through visually compelling lessons on such topics as the importance of salt and how to balance flavor. Good to know. So that is Cook This Book, Techniques That Teach and Recipes to Repeat, a cookbook by Molly Baz, or Molly Boz. It comes out April 20.
My cookbook by bloggers is the Ultimate Dutch Oven Cookbook, the best recipes on the planet for everyone's favorite pot.
I love my Dutch oven. It's on my stove right now, waiting for me to put something in it. I use it way more than my Instapot.
And I want to get on this bandwagon. They have Dutch ovens at Costco for sale, and they're super pretty, and I'm like, oh, I kind of want it. So I'm probably going to jump on this bandwagon, especially after seeing this cookbook. It's by Emily and Matt Clifton. It comes out April 20th. These guys are the founders of Nerds with Knives.
That's a great blog name.
I know, and I was like, that's so cute, and I immediately loved them, everything about it. But their pictures so Emily is kind of I would probably say more of the foodie than Matt is. Matt's the nerd aspect. I'm sure Emily is too. But she takes the photos, she makes the meals, and they're beautiful photos in the cookbook and on the website. I would definitely check that out. But as far as this cookbook goes, there's so many things I didn't realize you could do with a Dutch oven until seeing this cookbook. So the chapters in this cookbook are braises, sautés and steams, soups and stews, okay, pasta and grain, pies and crumble.
In a Dutch oven. Whoo.
Yeah, I had no idea. Breads, and then fried treats. So those are just the chapters, and going through all of these recipes, they cover a vast array of flavors and different countries and different staples, and even some of their own creations. It's just it's a fun cookbook, and like, I know some of you probably have a Dutch oven but don't use it, so like the opposite of Carrie. um, and you know, instead of having it sit in your cupboard, you can finally, you know, actually use all of the, like, use your super awesome tool and make really cool food. So that's why I really like this particular cookbook and this blog, Nerds with Knives. So the cookbook is the Ultimate Dutch Oven Cookbook. It comes out April 20th. It's by Emily and Matt Clifton, who founded Nerds with Knives.
So the next book I wanted to talk about is called Occasionally Eggs, Simple Vegetarian Recipes for Every Season by Alexandra Dahm. It also comes out April 20. Apparently she has a blog called Occasionally Eggs, and I read a lot of cooking blogs, but I've never heard of it, so I need to explore more because I'm so excited about this. I eat a lot of eggs, although the entire cookbook is not about eggs, it's vegetarian recipes, but I eat a lot of eggs because I figure, hey, they decided that eggs are not as unhealthy for us and not worried about the cholesterol like we used to be, and since I'm not eating steak and bacon and all that, I can have as many eggs as I want. Anyway, the author shows us how simple it can be to cook healthy-ish vegetarian meals with local fruits and vegetables and pantry staples like grains and legumes. Legumes is a weird word. I don't really like it. Anyway, I digress. There's over 110 delicious and nourishing recipes. For example, something I've never thought of making, and I have basil in the house right now in crazy quantities, spring pesto pizza. Sweet corn and zucchini pakoras would be the first thing I would rush to make in my Dutch oven, by the way. I like to fry things like pakoras and samosas in my Dutch oven because when the oil catches on fire, I can just slam the lid down as opposed to a skillet. I've had a few kitchen fires, that's all I'm going to say.
Yes.
Some of the recipes in this cookbook are really, really inventive, like chickpea apricot grain salad and, check this out, strawberry elderflower ginger beer floats.
Oh.
And for the seasonal chapters for autumn and winter, apple hazelnut waffles, sesame roasted delicata squash, which is something I never would have thought to do. I roast delicata squash all the time. And here's a smoky mushroom pumpkin chili. Done! Sold! That's Occasionally Eggs, Simple Vegetarian Recipes for Every Season by Alexandra Dahm, and you're going to hear a click of me purchasing Buy It Now.
Oh my god. I'm really hungry. And we just started. Ugh. So we're going to move on to cookbooks by chefs, famous chefs. The first cookbook is Cook, Eat, Repeat, Ingredients, Recipes, and Stories by Nigella Lawson. So this is obviously really exciting. This comes out April 20th, by the way, for those who need this right now, myself. So this kind of, she's clearly had a lot of cookbooks released in the past, but this one is really cool because we kind of get a glimpse into her personal life a little more. She gives us recipes that she actually cooks at home, and you know, for her holidays, and you know, on her weekends. It's just really cool to be able to see that. She also shares a lot of stories about her life and kind of her wisdom of food, so side by side with the recipes. So I really appreciate that. So it's like a perfect blend of a memoir and a cookbook. So this is pretty appealing to, you know, new chefs or new cookbook people, you know, all kinds of stuff. Especially if you're unfamiliar with Nigella Lawson. These are really easy and tested recipes, like I said, that she's done herself, and that she's just sharing with us, even though they seem really elegant. For instance, one thing that I was like, whoa, I don't know if I could attempt this, was like beef cheeks with port.
Whoa.
Yeah, I was like, I mean, I would totally try this, but I don't know if I could do it justice. She has like chestnuts, ginger and beetroot yogurt sauce. She's got a chicken with garlic cream sauce. Oh, that sounds so good. I'm so hungry. She also has like a burnt onion and eggplant dip. So there's just a lot of cool recipes in here that, I mean, like, all of those sound really, like, elaborate to me, but...
I burn my onions all the time, so I need that recipe. I could just use my burned onions.
I'll just use a burned onion, it's fine. So it covers, you know, all breakfast, lunch, dinner, dessert. Some of the dessert options she has like a chocolate peanut butter cake. That sounds super good. A cherry and almond crumble, which I'm really digging right now. That sounds amazing. So if you're really wanting to try some of her classics that she cooks at home and learn a little bit about her, Cook, Eat, Repeat, Ingredients, Recipes, and Stories by Nigella Lawson. It comes out April 20th.
Here's another cookbook that comes out April 20th from a famous chef. It's Vegetable Simple by Eric Ripert, who was friends with Anthony Bourdain. He's the chef and co-owner of the acclaimed restaurant Le Bernardin, and he's the winner of countless Michelin stars. And Vegetable Simple, surprise, surprise, is headed to your house pretty soon, Katie. I noticed from my Amazon that I purchased this item, so Merry Christmas early.
Thank you.
He turns his singular culinary imagination to vegetables, their beauty, their earthiness, their nourishing qualities, and the many ways they can be prepared. So here are recipes for sweet pea soup, fava bean and mint salad, mushroom bolognese. Hello, that sounds so good.
Yeah, it does.
Roasted carrots with harissa, which normally I just throw roasted carrots, butter, and rosemary and garlic and call it good, but I need to expand my portfolio. And his vision is that vegetables are prepared simply without complex steps or ingredients, allowing their essential qualities to shine and their color and flavor to remain uncompromised. And I might need to borrow this from you because I come from a tradition of German and Norwegian people and Scottish, and we just boil the heck out of the vegetable and call it good. Yeah. And you might remember that my dad and your grandpa like to put mayonnaise on their vegetables like broccoli.
Yep, I was about to say that.
Oh, it's frightening. So, artichokes, that doesn't count. That's different. But broccoli, yeah. So that's Vegetable Simple, a cookbook by Eric Ripert.
My cookbook is also vegetable, I guess, oriented. It's green oriented. It's called Herb, A Cook's Companion. It comes out April 13th, so a little earlier. It's by Mark Diacano. I'm sorry, I probably said that wrong. I apologize. So he is actually recognized as an authority in both food and gardening, which is cool. So he had a previous book. This is kind of the follow-up book to his other book, which is called Sour, which was the essential book on growing and cooking with herbs. So now we can have two books that are herb oriented. Sour actually was nominated for a James Beard Award. So it's pretty good. It's pretty good. And this one's really cool too. So this one talks about which herbs you would want to grow in your garden, what herbs go with what, including what herbs kind of mesh with each other. And there are recipes at the very end of the book. Let me see what I can see as far as recipes go. They do have like pickling. So they have like a shiso pickled cucumber recipe, which looks just beautiful. It's like so pretty, pink and white and very elegant. They have like different sugars, like a basil sugar and a mint sugar, which I've never heard of before. And why you would use those, maybe cocktails or something like that. That would be interesting.
Totally.
Or just a little topping for ice cream. I'm such a pig. Anyway, we also have griddled peaches, basil, watercress, parmesan, and pine nut salad.
Oh, wow.
So all of these recipes are very beautiful, very cool. But you can grow all these things in your yard, which I really love. It's so cool. So they even have recipes that use like wildflowers. Like this laksa recipe here it says 3 tablespoons sunflower. It doesn't say oil and it doesn't say seeds. I'm wondering if it's sunflower flowers. Yeah, so they have a lot of really interesting recipes that you can basically grow and use every day. They are a little complicated. In my opinion, I don't know if I would I don't know if I would be able to approach these as a beginner cook. But if you're somebody that loves like harvesting materials and kind of going out in nature and cultivating all these ingredients and then coming home and cooking these really awesome dishes, because a lot of them require like little bits of things to create a whole dish. If you're somebody like that, this is a really cool cookbook. That is Herb, a Cookbook's Companion.
The next book I'm going to talk about is Masala Lab, The Science of Indian Cooking by Krish Ashok. I love Indian food. I'm not a big spice person, but I also have not tried to make Indian food at home. And what the publisher wrote is really, really fascinating. Immediately, it says, ever wondered why your grandmother threw a tea bag into the pressure cooker while boiling chickpeas? No, because my grandmother never did that. Okay, but I'm curious now. Or why she measured using the knuckle of her index finger. My grandmother did that, definitely, especially when she was baking. Which is weird because baking is more of a science than cooking, but okay. Why does a counterintuitive pinch of salt make your kheer more intensely flavorful? Wow, I think I'm going to learn a lot because this is a science nerd's exploration of Indian cooking with the ultimate aim of making the reader a better cook and turning the kitchen into a joyful creative playground. I don't often equate joyful with science, but I'm up to try it. It's the science of Indian cooking. I'm going to peek inside and see if I can get a look at the table of contents. And yes, the first chapter is Zero Pressure Cooking. The second chapter is the science of spice and flavor, including taste, aroma, mouthfeel, sound, and sight, the science of salt, sugar, heat. And chapter 3 is Brown Baby Brown, about the Maillard reaction. Chapter 4 is called Dropping Acid. Chapter 5 is Umami, Soda, and Rum. Chapter 6, Taking It to the Next Level. And Chapter 7, Burn the Recipe. Chapter 8, The Biryani. That is fascinating. That's Masala Lab, The Science of Indian Cooking by Krish Ashok.
I'm going to move into plant-based and vegan. We only have one book here. It's called Easy Vegan Comfort Food, 80 Favorite Made Vegan in 5 Steps or Less. I'm not sure why that was so hard for me. 80 favorites made vegan. That's why. Okay, sorry. It's by Barb Music. It comes out April 20th, 2021. This is a really fun vegan book with a lot of cool recipes in here. So, one of the things that when I was trying to go into plant-based was that the fridge and pantry staples were so oddly unique. And the person that I followed did a great job listing all of those things. But I love how they're kind of going through all of the detail, like all of the fridge staples you need. Here's a list. And here's a list of your pantry staples, because it's really important to have these ingredients available to you. Because like as a somebody that eats meat all the time, there's certain things that are always in your fridge. And then transitioning over, you're like, oh, wow. I had no idea that I actually need these, like coconut milk. It's like, oh my God, I actually need that kind of readily available.
Yep.
Anyway.
Trader Joe's.
Right. Costco.
Yes.
All the things. So there's a lot of specific chapters for dishes in this cookbook as well. So like soups is one, snacks, hearty meals, noodles, deep dish, and desserts, which is cool. I kind of need to organize things very methodically for me, so it's really helpful. A lot of these recipes are like 10 ingredient recipes, which is great. So you can make it super quick on weekdays and you don't really, you're just done. That's what I like. Especially with vegan, because there's so much prep. That was one qualm I had with being a vegan, was like cutting every vegetable on the planet. And I was like, I am so tired of cutting. So
good thing you're not Chinese.
I know. God. So I'm glad that they've been able to reduce all of the ingredients to like 10, and it's not just exclusively chopping all the things up. They also give you like recipe hacks, so things that you can make ahead of time, or you can swap ingredients, which is super helpful too. If there's certain vegetables or certain things you don't like, you could swap it for something else. There are 80 recipes in here that can be made in 5 steps or less. So I don't see the problem with this cookbook. It sounds amazing. That is Easy Vegan Comfort Food, 80 Favorites Made Vegan in 5 Steps or Less. Comes out April 20th by Barb Music.
And I see that next on your list is a subject very near and dear to our heart. It's the Distilleries of Vancouver Island, a guided tour of West Coast craft and artisan spirits. Can you tell us about this cookbook?
Yeah.
Or maybe not cookbook.
Yeah. So this kind of goes through, I love Vancouver, and I really want to travel to Vancouver again. Hopefully soon.
When will our passports be accepted?
I know. So this is, I guess, a bit of a traveling cookbook, because it goes through 21 craft and artisan distilleries that have sprung up on Vancouver Island and the Gulf Islands. So I think that's super cool if you're somebody that loves traveling and kind of, trying out new things that are in those local areas. So it goes through different distilleries, like for vodka, gin, whiskeys, all kinds of liqueurs. And it's really cool. The pictures are super fun in this, and mostly because I'm a Pacific Northwesterner, so it's like, oh, I think I've been there. So I get really excited about it. But they have like a map, and it actually will pinpoint all the places that these distilleries are. It'll even have like a guide, like suggestions on how to get there or what to see or do. So I really like this, because it's just kind of a fun book, and learning about, I don't know anything about liquor at all. I'm not going to lie. I just drink it. So learning about it and how it's distilled is super fascinating, especially as somebody who has celiac, because things like whiskey, I just learned that I can drink, but I didn't think I could.
It's time to go out for whiskey like today. Let's go.
I know, right? Yes. I had no idea. So learning about distilling, it's a science and it's cool. And then on a Pacific Northwestern end, it's like, there's obvious differences in flavor and, how they do those things and make it, its own brand. Make it Vancouver. So if you're into that kind of thing, if you love liquor, or if you know somebody that loves that or lives in the Pacific Northwest, you can check out the Distilleries of Vancouver Island book. It's a guided tour of West Coast craft and artisan spirits. It is by Marianne Scott. It comes out April 20th. What is next for you, Carrie?
It's a bread baking book called Mother Grains, Recipes for the Grain Revolution. And I apologize, I don't know how to pronounce this author, Roxana Jullapat, or Jullapat's name. I actually dashed over to YouTube and saw that she was in several videos baking things, but they never introduced her verbally.
Oh.
Anyway, she's the head baker and owner of a beloved Los Angeles bakery, and she recommends that we use local, sustainable flour, if possible. Well, we don't grow flour here in Woodinville, Washington, so I'm going to have to buy flour from the eastern part of the state. Sorry. She recommends brown rice flour because it lightens up a cake. She says that rustic rye adds unexpected chewiness to a bagel. Well, I do kind of expect my bagel to be chewy, but fair enough. And she suggests that we use ground toasted oats to enrich donuts. Her bakery's name is Friends and Family, and she works with dedicated farmers and millers around the country to source and incorporate the 8 mother grains that she uses in every sweet bread or salad on her menu. She has a chocolate chip cookie recipe that you can make with any of the 8 mother grains. I'm always up for a new chocolate chip cookie recipe. She includes savory recipes for whole grain salads that you make with sorghum, something called kamut or frika, or easy warm dishes such as farro a la pilota, toasted barley soup, or gallo pinto, which pays homage to her Costa Rican upbringing. And the book promises step-by-step photos, which I love, and also a sourcing guide, storage tips, which is important because I currently have 5 or 6 kinds of flowers rotting in my pantry that I probably need to go sort, and it is spring cleaning time, so fair enough. That's Mother Grains, Recipes for the Grain Revolution by Roxana Jullapat or Jullapat with a J.
I'm going to move on to our specialty or miscellaneous cookbooks for today. And as everybody's been waiting for this particular cookbook, it is Bacon Everything. Bacon Makes Everything Better. It comes out April 20th. It's by Brooke Michael Bell, or it's the editor at least. So I really love how this book is divided up. The chapters are topped with bacon, wrapped with bacon, flavored with bacon, and bacon with bacon.
Oh, jeez.
I feel like this is something my husband would say, or like if he created a cookbook, this would be his cookbook because he loves bacon. I love bacon too, but just not like this. Bacon on bacon would just be too much for me. So obviously this is a perfect cookbook for bacon lovers. There are 50 recipes in here. I would not have guessed. Like, you could come, like, you know, I guess you could wrap literally everything in bacon, but I just wouldn't necessarily put, like, 50 bacon-wrapped recipes in there. So these are all very different recipes that... It's an oddly informational cookbook. I was very surprised by it. So they have, like, I'm trying to pull up some really awesome recipes. They obviously have, like, cheese fries with bacon on top and some green onions. They have bacon in your quiche. They have, it looks like, even bacon-topped brownies, which is actually good. I've had
That's sounding very spring. Onions on top, quiche.
Yes. I'm very excited for the summer days. Very excited. They even have like a bacon pecan sticky roll, which sounds really interesting. I'm sure my husband would dig that. That sounds super good. So obviously these recipes are incredibly indulgent. If you're looking for a diet book, this is not for you. So, right, if you love bacon, this is definitely the book for you. Again, it is called Bacon Everything. Bacon Makes Everything Better. Comes out April 20th.
I am getting my hands upon, as soon as possible, this next cookbook, Beautiful Platters and Delicious Boards, over 150 recipes and tips for crafting memorable charcuterie serving boards. Comes out April 20. It's by Cider Mill Press. And there's been a lot of platters and boards and grazing cookbooks and books coming out. Fine, fair enough. But I need to own one because before the pandemic, I threw a minimum of 1 party a week, sometimes 2 or 3, and I'm serving people from the local wine industry because Katie and I run a wine blog. And I really didn't have time to nicely arrange things on platters and boards. When you have 20 people coming over on a work day, you know, at the end of the day, I'm just like, here's the food, it's on the table, help yourself, and let's drink some wine. Beautiful Platters and Delicious Boards, I immediately see a roasted beet spread that I'm dying to make, some cinnamon twists, a raspberry dessert, crostini with ricotta and pea shoots, which is something I would never think to make, and I wonder if I could make that a little bit early, but anyways, I'm delighted to have this cookbook arriving at my house pretty soon. Beautiful Platters and Delicious Boards by Cider Mill Press with gorgeous photos inside. Love it!
That sounds awesome. The more we do this, the hungrier I'm getting. So,
sorry!
No, it's fine. The next one that you'd probably be interested in too is called Toaster Oven Takeover. Easy and delicious recipes to make in your toaster oven. It comes out April 20th. It's by Roxanne Weiss and Kathy Moore. I like, we've seen a lot of toaster oven cookbooks, and I really drawn to this one because there's so many. Not only are the pictures really pretty, I'm sorry, I'm a picture person.
Yes, yes.
The pictures are great. The recipes are really easy and super, like, a few recipes I'm pulling up here are like baked egg cups. We have a berry breakfast bruschetta, vegetable tartines, French vegetable tartines. They're very elegant and very pretty, and I would never have expected them to come from a toaster oven. Honey glazed ginger pork meatballs. You know, just
Oh, yeah.
even a oh god, I haven't had stuffed shells in a long time, but cheesy chicken stuffed shells. We can make that vegetarian. But so
And you can make it gluten-free, too.
yeah. Oh, so there's so many things you can do with the toaster oven, and this cookbook is going to show you the plethora of recipes that you can make with it. I'm trying to see if there's an actual amount of recipes they have in here. It just looks like so many. They have breakfast and lunch and dinners, from flatbreads and pizzas, obviously, and toasts and crostini sandwiches, probably for lunches and more breakfast. But they have like brownies and cinnamon rolls, like all kinds of cool stuff in here. If you're really, and this is great if you don't even have an oven, or if you have limited space or want to reduce on your microwave usage. I think this would be a great cookbook for college kids too.
Well, yeah, that way if your cooking catches on fire, as happens to me sometimes, you can just throw the whole toaster out the dorm window and solve your problem.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, sorry, go ahead. What were you going to say?
So I have a fancy, very expensive toaster oven that's a convection oven. And even though I have a double oven for parties, so I can have appetizers on the top at, say, $4.75, and then the dinner down below at $3.50, I still have a toaster oven to do the second round of appetizers, because that way I can have a meat appetizer and a vegetarian appetizer at the same time. So I love my convection toaster oven.
Yeah, and I'm starting to feel like, I kind of want to transition over to the toaster oven thing, too, because there's so many ways to use it, and I had no idea. These recipes are really quick, they're really easy, and again, yeah, like Carrie said, this would make it really easy for like parties and stuff, or big gatherings, family dinners. I mean, I think Easter will be past by now, but we can prep for 4th of July and all the other holidays that'll be coming up.
Looking forward to them.
Yes. So that is Toaster Oven Takeover by Roxanne Weiss and Kathy Moore. It comes out April 20th.
The next cookbook I'd like to present to you is What's for Dinner: Over 200 Seasonal Recipes from Weekend Feasts to Fast Weeknight Meals. That is exactly how I cook. My weeknights are busy, like the rest of you. Hopefully, I'm working all day. And then I have to stop what I'm doing about 4:30 and start getting dinner ready, and then my work is never done. So even after dinner, I'm working. So it has to be easy. There can't be time and hassle. But on the weekend, I have time, and I do want to host a feast. And I want to create more elaborate dishes. So this is another cider mill press book. We like them around here. They have good photographs, easy to follow recipes. I'm peeking through their pictures in this cookbook. I see an Irish lamb stew that I wouldn't personally make because I'm vegetarian, but I could put my fake beef in there. Blistered shishito peppers. I almost said a bad word. Steak with peppers and onions, double lemon tart. I love lemon tarts in spring, especially if I'm hosting a brunch. Thai red duck curry, and chicken kebabs. So they're going all over the world, a whole bunch of different traditions. They also include gluten-free, keto-friendly, and vegetarian options. I love that because often these what's for dinner type cookbooks are just so meat-packed that they're useless for people like me, vegetarians. So that is What's for Dinner: Over 200 Seasonal Recipes from Weekend Feast to Fast Weeknight Meals. Comes out April 20 from Cider Mill Press. And I have one more home cooking family meal book. It's the 10th anniversary edition of Farron Adria's cookbook. It comes out April 21. It's a little bit more expensive hardcover. Amazon has it at $39.99. It's an updated edition of this iconic chef's globally best-selling home cooking book. What does he eat for dinner, and what does he feed the hardworking staff at his fabled El Bulli, the first destination restaurant in the Mediterranean coast? I love Mediterranean food. Love it, love it, love it. I'm peeking through at some of the images, and I need glasses because, I see lots and lots of pictures of things that your kitchen needs and the supplies that you need to stock your pantry. I see recipes for bread and garlic soup. That would be a great lunch today. Mexican-style slow-cooked pork, figs with cream and kirsch. Any excuse to put liquor in my food. I mean, honestly. I'm not sure for a family meal, though. Anyway, that's the family meal, home cooking with Ferran Adria, 10th anniversary, and that comes out April 21.
Awesome. So that finishes our list for Friday's newly released cookbooks that come out the third week of April. Stay tuned every Friday to get weekly updates on exciting cookbooks coming soon. This will give us time to pre-order, as we said above. We will also have our mini-sodes that are released on Tuesdays, where we talk about themed cookbooks or just ones that we really like.
And thank you for listening. I just wanted you to stick around for a second to invite you to join our Cookbook Divas book club, which begins April 1st. No fooling. We're going to be reading Jennifer Ryan's The Kitchen Front, which is a World War II based on real events about a vintage British TV show called The Kitchen Front, and women were hardly ever on that TV show. So the novel explores 4 women living in wartime Britain that are really, really hoping to bake and cook their way onto the show. We host the show on our Facebook group, and you can join us there at cookbookdivas.com website. We'll have the link that you need to get in, the reading schedule, and some of the fun videos that we're going to do with live chats. Thanks for listening.